Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to go over some of the most useful and most used commands in AutoCAD. So before we start, let's change the unit of measurement. So hit U and enter. And I need it to be architectural. Okay, now let's start. I want to start with a command which is actually rectangle. So to create a rectangle, you need to either pick this icon over here in the draw panel or come here and just type in REC, enter. Okay, now as you see, it prompts you to specify first corner point. Okay, pick somewhere on the screen, and then now it wants you to specify other corner point. So select the other corner point, and that's it. You are automatically out of the command. Now, what if we want to have specific dimensions for our rectangle? So let's start it again. REC, enter. Now, you see before picking the first point, we have some options here that we will talk about those later, okay? Just pick the first point. For example, I want my rectangle to be started from here. And then you need to specify dimensions, right? So we have an option over here, which is dimension. And you see the D is highlighted in blue. So you need to type in D, enter. So REC, enter, D, enter to specify dimensions. And now it asks you to specify length for a rectangle. So what is length actually here? Length is the side of rectangle which is kind of in the same direction with this x-axis, okay? And AutoCAD calls it actually length. And the other one, which is called width, is kind of is actually in the same direction with the y-axis. So let's start with the length and specify a value for that. So I'm going to enter, for example, 2 feet. So enter 2 feet and then hit enter. Now I need to specify width for rectangle. I'm going to enter 1 feet, or 1 feet, for example, 3 inch. For inch, you don't need to insert the inch symbol, okay? So 1 feet 3 would work like 1 feet 3 inch, or you can enter that. There's no difference. Then just hit enter. And now AutoCAD wants you to specify the site that you want it to be located. So as you can see, the starting point is the same, but do you want it to be located here, here, at the upper corner, upper right corner, or where do you want it to be located? So I'm going to click here, and that's it. So this way we can have a rectangle with some specific dimensions. Now, as you can see, if you pick this object, you see that this rectangle is a single object, and these lines are not separate from each other. Okay, and you, if you hover your mouse over it, you see it is saying it's a polyline, right? Now, what if I want to modify these lines individually? What if I want to do something to this one only, not the whole object? So for that, you need to use another command to explode this object, okay? And make it, make these to act separately, make these lines to act separately. So for that, we need to use the explode command. And the shortcut to explode command is X enter. Okay, let's hit X, enter. Now it is saying to select the object. So I'm going to select the rectangle, and then you just need to hit enter. Or you can pick, for example, this one as well, and then hit enter. Now you see these lines are separate objects. Now if you hover over this line, you see it's saying it is a line, not a rectangle anymore. And the icon for the explode command is located here in the modify panel. Okay, so you can either use X, enter, or use this icon, which I do not recommend. Now, the next command I want to talk about is undo. Okay, let's first create some other objects over here, just randomly. Okay, now imagine that I want to undo what I've done and get back a few steps before. Okay, for that you need to use undo command, and the shortcut to undo command is U enter. So I'm gonna hit U and then enter. Okay, and if you want to go even further back, you need to hit enter again and again, and that's like that is like you are actually using the command undo over and over again. So you enter, and then if you want to go even further back, hit enter, 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 and you will get back. So again, you enter, now enter, enter, enter. You see how that works? That's so easy. So again, for example, circle, one over here, REC, one over here. Okay, now let's use undo again. You enter, 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 and that's it. The next command I want to talk about is offset. Okay, let me draw a line first. Okay, now imagine that I want to have a line parallel to the one that I have with a specific distance from this. Okay, now what should I do? For this, we need to use offset command. Okay, and it is a very, very useful command. Okay, so get used to using this command. So the shortcut to offset command is O enter, and the icon is located over here. Okay, so hit O enter. Now you need to specify offset distance. What is the distance you want to these two lines have from each other? Okay, so for example, I want the second line to be 2 inches apart from this original line. So I'm going to enter, for example, 2 that actually specifies 2 inch, and then hit enter. Now it says select object to offset. So you need to specify the original object. I'm going to select the line. Now you need to specify point on side to offset. Do you want it to be offset from the right side or on the left side? So you need to pick a side. Okay, and now let's pick a side and see what happens. I want to pick the right side, and that's it. Now I have 2 lines which are parallel with 2 inch distance from each other. Okay, now let's delete this one and go and again hit O enter. Now this time I want to have multiple lines parallel to this original line. Okay, so again O enter, specify offset distance. I want the lines to be again 2 inch apart, so 2 enter, and then I need to select object, so select this, and now as you can see here we have an option which is multiple. So to pick that, you need to type in M, enter, and now if I click once, then I have the option to click again, and again, and have multiple copies of that line, multiple offset of that line. Okay, now if I go to the left side and pick once, twice, next, I have some other copies of this line. So I have created multiple offset of the original line that I had. Now let me draw another line over here. Okay, let's hit O, enter. And you see we have a value over here. And this is the previous, the value that we have used previously. Okay, the last value we have entered for the offset command. Okay, it shows up over here. And if I want to change it, I can insert a new value. But if I don't want to change it, I don't need to enter a value, so I can continue using the same value, and I just need to hit enter. So when it says a specify offset distance, I can just hit enter and it continues working with the previous value. So I can just make offset of the line that I had. Let's use offset and multiple one more time. So O, enter, and I'm gonna continue using the 2-inch value. So enter, and then I'm gonna pick the line and I'm gonna use multiple. So enter M, enter, and then I'm gonna choose this side. So you see it's showing the distance over here, 2-inch. And when I wanna click and create the second line, it is showing the distance again. So it is 4-inch. The second line is 4-inch apart from the original line, 6-inch, 8-inch, and so on. Okay, you see the distance over here. Now, what if we had a closed boundary? So like a rectangle or a circle. Imagine that this is the boundary of a room or anything like that. Okay, so I want to have my walls or something like this. So still we can use offset command for these kind of closed boundaries. Okay, so you need to just again hit O, enter, and then specify the value, the offset value, and then hit enter. And then for the closed boundaries, it is saying select object. Okay, so I'm going to select the object. And for closed boundaries, you have the option to either pick the inner side or the outer side, whichever that works for you. Okay, so if I want the offset to be on the core side, I want to pick this. And if I want it to be on the outer side, I can pick the outer side, which side that works for you, whatever side. Okay, this time this one, and that's it. Now I want you to create a line, a circle, and a rectangle, and create some offset of these objects. Okay. The next command I'm going to talk about is construction line. Well, construction line is a line that extends infinitely in both directions, and you need to actually trim them after drawing those. Okay, so in your drawings, you may either use a regular drawing line or a construction line. So, and the command to construction line is X line, and the icon is located in this drawing panel. So if you extend this draw panel, you just need to, for extending this, you just need to click on this arrow, and then here is the X line command, construction line. Okay, and if you move your cursor away, you see that part of the panel is gone. You just need to, if you want to keep it kind of extended, you need to pin this part of the panel. Okay, and you can pin it by clicking on this button. And then if you want it to go away again, you can just unpin it. Okay. Now, and the shortcut to this command, to construction line command, is XL. Okay, so you need to hit XL, enter, and then we have multiple options for drawing a construction line: horizontal, vertical, angled, bisect, and offset. And we will talk about them. Okay, so if you see that it prompts you to specify a point, so you can pick a point on the screen, and then you can draw a line in any direction that you want. Now let's delete these. This time I'm going to use the horizontal line, construction line, XL, enter, and from here I'm going to click on edge. I'm going to enter edge, enter. So this gives me the option to just pick a point and draw as many as I want construction lines, okay? Just horizontal lines. So you may have a floor plan and imagine that this is a room, and you may want to have 2 lines over here, so you can use construction lines. And then I can again go into the command, and this time I'm going to use vertical line, V, enter, and then just place some lines. Now I want to have an angled construction lines, XL, enter, and you should enter A this time, XL, enter, A, enter, and now it asks you to enter angle of X line, so you can enter any angle that you want. So I'm gonna insert, for example, 30, and then you can place it. Now, as you can see, these lines extend infinitely in our screen, okay? And then later on, we will be needing to trim them to cut just only a portion of them, okay? So we can keep a portion that we want and just get rid of the rest of it. And yeah, that's it. Now let's see, we have another command which is so similar to this X line, but actually the line will be infinite just from one direction, okay? And that's ray, okay? So this command is located here. You see, this is ray, creates a line that starts at a point and continue to infinity. Okay, so click and select ray, and then you can pick here and then start drawing ray line, drawing rays. Now let's hit Ctrl A and delete whatever we have here. Okay, next I want you to do these exercises. Okay, so I want you to draw 5 horizontal construction lines. Okay, so for that you need to hit XL, enter, and then because we want horizontal lines, you need to hit H, enter, XL, enter, H, enter. Okay, and then place some 5 horizontal construction lines. Next, let's delete these, or you can keep them. Next, I want you to draw 5 vertical construction lines. So this time, XL, enter, V, enter, and then place 5 vertical lines. Now I want you to draw an angled construction line and with 45 degree. Okay, so for that you need to hit XL, enter, this time A, enter, and now you need to specify the angle, 45, enter, and that's it. The other option that we have with construction lines is creating offsets. Okay, so imagine that I have this line and I want to have a construction line which is parallel to this. This time I can use construction line again. So hit XL enter, and this time I'm going to use offset. Okay, so O enter, and then you need to specify offset distance. So I'm going to enter, for example, 1 feet and hit enter, and then so it's not showing up. Let's see what is wrong. Click on one side and that's it. Okay, the next command that I'm going to talk about is trim. So trim is used to cut out a portion of an object, or in other words, make it shorter. So imagine that you have these lines and you want these horizontal lines to kind of stop when they touch the vertical line over here. Okay, so they don't want them to pass through this vertical line. What we call this vertical line over here is a cutting edge. It actually acts like a knife and cut through these objects. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Well, trim command has changed a little bit in this 2021 version, and in this version we have two modes of using trim. So we have a quick mode and a standard mode, which is actually the older version. Okay, so but it's still the same in the Mac version of AutoCAD. So Mac has only standard mode. Okay, so I'm going to go over the quick mode quickly. Okay, so for trim, we have an icon which is located here. Okay, and the shortcut to trim command is TR enter. Okay, so easy. So as you hit TR enter, now you need to pick the objects that you want them to be shortened. Okay, you just need to click, and then you see this line. You just need to go over those and they will be kind of shortened. That's easy. Let's hit U enter and get back. And this time TR enter. If I pick only this line, only this one will be deleted. Okay, so if you want them all to be deleted at the same time, TR enter, and then you need to click somewhere and then draw a line over those. Let's undo again. So TR enter, and you see when I hover the cursor over this portion, actually AutoCAD defines this portion and based on the nearest object that cross the object. Okay, so AutoCAD defines this as the cutting object for this object that I'm selecting. So you just need to click and that's done, or this way. So this was the quick mode. Now let's draw a line here. Now, if an object is kind of fitted between two cutting edges, then we cannot trim that object. Okay, if we use trim command for this line, because it is located between two crossing lines or between two cutting edges, if I click and select it, it will be kind of deleted. Another command that works in conjunction with trim command is extend. Okay, so let's see. If I hit trim, enter, then instead of trimming, if I hold the shift key on the keyboard and select one of these objects, then this object will be extended. Okay, so it's kind of a dual purpose. So if you go inside the trim command and hold the shift, it will kind of act as another command like extend. I will talk about the extend command more later in this video. Okay, now let's see how the trim how trim works in Mac, or in the other word, in the standard mode. Okay, so let's see here. This is the AutoCAD 2018 version, so it's going to work like Mac for you. So I hit TR enter, and then you see this is saying select objects. So I need to select cutting edge objects, okay? So the ones that acts like a knife. So I'm gonna select this, and then if you want, you can pick other cutting edges, but I have only one here. So next I need to hit enter and then select the objects that I want them to be shortened. Okay, so this acts like, this is going to be the way that trim works in Mac right now in 21 version. Let's undo this. Okay, and if you want the trim command in a standard mode to work kind of automatically without selecting the cutting edge object, it's going to work this way. So you need to hit TR enter, and then you need to hit enter one more time. Now you can just pick the objects that needs to be shortened. Okay. Now let's get back to the 21 version. Now let's do some exercises, okay? So I want you to draw these lines in your AutoCAD. So this is a rectangle, and a line passes through that. So after drawing these lines, we are going to do some exercises. You can pause the video and draw them. Okay, now let's hit trim, TR enter, okay? Now I want this portion of this line to be eliminated, okay, this portion. So for that, you need to move your cursor over the line, and then just hit, and just click, and that's it. And if you want this portion to be eliminated, you just move your cursor over it, click, and that's gone. Now, if I want this middle portion to be gone, you just need to come. You see this middle portion is located kind of between two crossing lines. So if I click and select it, it will be deleted, okay? Now, if I want these two sides of the line to go away and be eliminated, you just need to come here, select this one, and that's it. Now, if I want the middle portion to be gone, you just need to come and pick it, and that's gone. Now let's see the same exercise, how it works in the standard mode or in the Mac 2021 version, okay? So for those of you who have Mac, it's going to work this way, okay? So you need to hit TR enter, and then you need to pick the cutting edge, okay? Or so you need to pick the cutting edge, and then you need to hit enter, and then if you want this portion to be trimmed, you just come here and click, and that's gone, okay? But for this, again, you need to come here, get out of the command, TR enter, get in again, pick the crossing line, and then hit enter and do this, okay? Or if you want to have multiple cutting edges selected at the same time, you can. So for this part, you can hit TR enter, and then you need to select cutting edges or crossing lines. So I'm going to pick these two, and then you need to hit enter, and now I need to trim this middle part. The same is here. So TR enter, and then hit enter again, and that's it. Instead of again inserting trim, actually running trim command, you can just hit enter. So I'm in the trim command, and then select the cutting edge, and then I'm going to hit enter again and click, and it's done. In the standard mode, if you want to work even quicker, you can use trim inter command. Okay, so tr inter, and then trim the portions that you don't want. Okay, or if you hold while you are in the trim inter, then you can hold the shift key and then extend the lines that you want. Okay. Now let's go back to the 2021 version. Okay, next I'm going to talk about the extend command. And the shortcut to extend command is EX enter. Okay, and you can find the icon over here. So it is in the same place that trim is located. You just need to click on this arrow and then select the extend command. Okay, and the shortcut is EX enter. So it is going to work similar to trim, and it has a quick mode and a standard mode. Now let's get out of the command and delete some of these objects that we don't want. Okay. Now I want this line to be extended and touches this first line over here. Okay, so you need to hit, in the 2021 version, you need to hit EX enter, and then you just need to click somewhere on this end of the line because we want this end to be extended and touches this line. So click and it's done. If you want the line to still be more extended and touches this next boundary, you just need to click on it one more time, and that's it. Now let's see what happens if I click somewhere else on the line. So hit EX enter. If I pick this end of the line, and while I am in the extend command, you would see that. So you see, when I click, nothing happens because I'm clicking on the wrong side of the line. So because we have no boundary, no crossing line over here, so the line can touch that. Okay, so you should be cautious about this and pick the right side, actually the correct side of the line. Now, while you are in the extend command, in order to speed up and work faster, if you want to trim some part of the object, you don't need to get out of the command and come and enter trim command. Okay, it's the same way the trim commands work. So in trim command, you could hold the shift key and kind of switch between the extend and trim command, and it is going to be the same with the extend command. So while you are in the extend command, if you hold the shift key, you can trim some part of the object that you don't want. Okay, and it's so easy. You just need to hold the shift key. Now let's do some exercises. Okay, so let's draw some lines. Okay, now I want this end of the, you can pause the video and do the exercise, okay? So I want this end of this middle line to touch this vertical line, and I want this line to touch this angled line, okay? So for that, let's hit EX enter, and then you just need to pick this side of the line, and that's it. The same is for here. If I pick this side, it's gonna work. Now let's do the same exercise in standard mode or in Mac. So I'm gonna use the 2018 version again. So in Mac, if you wanted to work the same way that quick mode works, you need to hit EX, enter, and enter. So you need to hit enter twice, okay? And then pick the object so it can be extended, okay? Or if you want to hit enter once, so EX enter, you need to select the boundary, okay? And then hit enter and then pick the object to be extended. Now let's get back to the 21 version and move on to the next command. The next command that we are going to discuss is lengthen. So if you want to extend a line without having a boundary edge or trim a line without having a cutting edge, you can use this tool, okay? And the icon is located in the modify section. The icon is located here, okay? You just need to extend this panel and select this. And the shortcut to this command is LEN, okay? So LEN, enter. And the only option that we are going to discuss here is the dynamic mode, okay? So the only option that we are going to work with is dynamic. So after entering LEN, enter, you need to hit, as you can see, DY is highlighted here. So hit DY and enter, okay? One more time. LEN, enter, DY, enter, okay? Now you just need to pick the object that you want to be extended. So I want this part to be extended and pass through this line and go further away, okay? So I'm gonna pick this, and you just need to extend the line kind of and make it longer. And just click and pick the second point. Or you can still, while you are in the command, you can pick another point and make it longer. This one, make it longer. This one, you can make it longer. And that's it. Now I want you to pause the video and do some exercises and play with this command with the lines that you have in your drawing. The next tool that I'm going to discuss is Object Snap or Osnap, okay? So what is Object Snap? Well, one of the benefits of AutoCAD is that you can draw your drawing with maximum precision, okay? And so imagine that you want to draw a line. Okay. Now the Object Snap button is located here. Okay, so let me turn it off. Now I want to continue drawing. Okay, so L enter. Now you see I'm not able to pick the end point or start point of this line. Okay, and this way I would not be able to have a very precise drawing. So as you can see, this is not a perfect joint, okay? Now Object Snap allows us to kind of pick the exact point that we want to pick, okay? So if it's the end point of a line, if it's the midpoint, or the center of a circle, we can pick that exact location on the screen. Okay, so you can access the Osnap or make it on and off using F3 key on your keyboard. Okay, so F3, and you can see this button turns on and off. Okay, or you can come here and turn it on and off. And when it's on, if you right click on it, you can see the options that we have here, and we can check the ones that we want to be on. Okay, usually we can make them all on, and that would be helpful. Right now you see the perpendicular is on, extension, intersection, center of the circle, endpoint, I'm gonna turn this one on, so midpoint, and the other one intersection, tangent, nearest, maybe not nearest for now. Okay, the other button that you have, the other key is OS. So press OS enter, and then you can access to this object snap settings. Okay, and you can make these on and off. Actually, they are the same as what you saw here from here. So actually, it doesn't matter if you turn them on from here or there. So this window can be accessed from here as well. So F3 key on your keyboard and OS and hit enter. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Now when I want to draw a line, you see, when I move my cursor and get it near to the line, move it near to this line, you can see this green kind of rectangle, green square. This means it is the end point. Okay, so if you come here, you see the end point is kind of specified with squares. So L enter, pick this one. So you don't need to be worried about just picking the right location. Okay, and then continue drawing. Or I can pick if I move my cursor around here, you see this triangle in green, that means the midpoint. So again, let's check it here. The midpoint, it's not actually the triangle, but what you can see here is a triangle for midpoint. Okay, so just click, and this is the midpoint. If you want to draw a circle, just draw one. Then if you want to draw a line and you want it to start from the center of the circle, if you move L enter, if you move your cursor just on the boundaries of the circle, you see this point at the center will be kind of highlighted in green. That means the center of the circle. So if you come here, you can easily click and pick this point. Okay, and then you can draw a line. Now I want this line to be perpendicular to this other line, and you see this green symbol, this is the perpendicular symbol. Okay, so just click, and that's it. Now let's hit OS again. So you see these symbols, they kind of represent what you can see while you are working in the snaps. Now let's see what this works, how this works. Okay, so L enter. This time I want to draw a line from that starts from here and kind of sits here on the line. Okay, but you see when I come close to this point, the AutoSnap marker that appears is this perpendicular. Okay, so when I click even here, my kind of end of these lines sits on that point, on that green point, that perpendicular symbol. Okay, so even if I pick this line, my line will be located here. Or if I move my cursor a little bit to the right, you see this end point will be highlighted. Well, the point is that I don't want either the perpendicular or the end point. I want a point around here. Okay, so what I need to do here is to come here and kind of turn on the nearest option over here. Okay, so let's check it. Now I'm gonna draw another line. Now you see this symbol, it actually represents the nearest. So I'm able to pick any point on this line right now. So make sure to memorize these symbols, okay? You will probably have them in your tests. Now let's go into the line command, use the line tool. And when I move my cursor over a line, in the just gray box attached to my cursor, you can see that it shows me it is nearest right now. If I pick this one and go over this, you see it is showing that this is an end point, or it is a midpoint. Now let's do some exercises. I want you to draw a line similar to this. Okay. Now I want you to draw a circle over here with the center located over this end point. So C, enter, and then you need to pick this point and place it over here. Now this time I want to place the center of this circle at the intersection of these two lines. Okay, so this is the intersection symbol. Just pick it and place a circle. The last thing that I want to talk about is how to override the object snaps, the ones that we have turned on here. So how we can override these. So imagine that some of these options are unchecked or off. So I'm going to turn intersection, perpendicular, and tangent off. And now imagine that you are in the middle of a command like line. And I want to start drawing a line perpendicular to this one over here. So what should I do now? Because I'm not able to do it right now. So while I'm in the command, then I can enter int, or no, that's actually for intersection. So per, and then hit enter. Now I'm able to see the perpendicular sign over here. Okay, and just click, and that's it. Now the same is for the tangent. So tangent is unchecked over here, so it's not going to work. So imagine that I want to draw a line over here and make it tangent to this circle, but it's not over here. So after you have entered enter, now you need to enter TAN for tangent. So this is the shortcut to tangent. Okay, TAN, enter, and then pick the tangent. Again, I cannot find the tangent, so tan, and then I'm able to see that tangent point. And the last one is intersection. Okay, so imagine that I want to draw a circle over here. So C, enter, and I want to pick the intersection point over here. So int, enter, and now I'm able to see the intersection, and then draw it. So you can find these commands and the shortcuts to them on page 32 of the book. Okay, and make sure to memorize them because you will have them in your tests. Well, overall, my recommendation is to keep all of these Osnaps on. Okay, so make sure to check all of them. And if you thought that you had issue with one or two of them, you can come here and uncheck those, okay? But my recommendation is to keep them on. And if you, for example, if you were in the middle of a command and you forgot to turn it on, you see when I'm in the middle of a command, I'm not able to come here and click on this button. So this way you can just hit F3 on your keyboard and it's on right now. And you can pick, for example, the nearest point on this line. So that was what I wanted to cover for chapter 3. Have a good day and good luck.